Alrighty, so hey everyone, time is not on my side today, but someone wants to know, they say, you know, they're happy that they're going to see me doing longer videos, but they would love to see a video of balanced foods, and in the parentheses they have carbs, proteins, fats, and color, and why it's important for blood sugars, and also why vegan is not the only way to lower your blood sugar as the media portrays. So let's get into it. So the macronutrients are proteins, fats, as well as carbohydrates. So the first one that we're going to talk about is protein. So protein comes from both animal sources as well as plant-based sources. So when I work with someone, I always like to ask them, you know, what diet are you on? And I get a lot of people telling me that they're pescatarian, or they eat everything under the sun, or they're vegan, so forth and so on. So this helps me to create for them a plan that they could adhere to for better blood sugar management. But just getting into the nitty-gritty about protein. Proteins do a plethora of different things for the body. They supply the body with strength and energy, they help with growth, and it also helps the body to repair itself. So something that I did want to say, especially when we are looking at animal-based protein sources, we also have to be aware that animal-based proteins also have fat attached to it. So protein does not impact blood sugars, but fat may impact your blood sugars. Fat may cause your blood sugars to be stubbornly elevated. So something that I want my patients to do is to be aware, to be cognizant of how much fat they are consuming, as well as the types of fat, which we're going to get into a little later. When we look at the plant-based sources of protein, there's something important that I do want us to be aware. Some of the plant-based sources of protein do have some carbohydrates attached to them. So if you're a person that likes faux meats, if you're a person that likes tofu, if you're a person that likes beans or lentils or any type of legume, you also have to be aware that carbohydrates are there. And carbohydrates can impact your blood sugar. Before you think that carbohydrates are the bad guys and that if you have diabetes or prediabetes, you need to avoid them, you don't. Your body actually needs them. But when we get to the carbohydrate section, we're going to address that. So in order to build a better plate, as I like to call it, if you are living with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes and you have your protein source, your protein should be 1/4 of your plate. And this is called the healthy plate method. So again, if you have your plate should be 1/4 of protein. But what I see is a lot of people are loading up on protein, and this may not necessarily be the best for gut health, because gut health does impact your blood sugars. I'm going to do a totally separate video on gut health because it is just a topic that is mind-blowing, and it's evolving, and we're learning new information day by day. All right, so that was the deal on protein. Let's talk about fat. So fat is not bad. Is necessary for the production of hormones, and fat also does help to absorb certain vitamins, A, D, E, and K. ADEK. These are the fat soluble vitamins. But the problem is, what type of fats are we getting in our diet? So if you see this picture right here, this is a picture in some form or another that I always show when I do my master classes. I always like to talk about the difference between saturated fat as well as unsaturated fat. So saturated fat is the fat that you get from animal-based sources, and saturated fat can have a negative impact on heart health. And you may be saying, Kim, but we're talking about diabetes. Why are you bringing in heart health? And the reason for that is because individuals that have diabetes are, I think I remember the stat correctly, are 2 to 4 times more likely to also have heart-related issues. And foods high in saturated fat can have a negative impact on your heart. The other type of fat, which is the unsaturated fat, is more of the heart healthy fat. This is the type of fat that I do want my clients, remember, I'm not your dietitian. I am a dietitian, but I'm not your dietitian. But if you are my client, I've talked to you all the time about saturated fats, and you know that. So you will hear me say things to you like, I want you to get fish in your diet at least twice a week. I want you to snack on nuts. Hey, could you add an avocado to your dinner or your lunch? This is the reason, because it is cardioprotective. So I want to give you some practical tips on how you could decrease the amount of fat in your diet. So as I mentioned when I was talking about protein a little bit, I mentioned if you buy chicken with the skin on it, just take the skin off, or buy skinless, boneless. Another thing that you should be aware of is the milk that you drink. Instead of getting whole milk, try 2% milk, or even try fat-free milk. When you buy cheese, buy low-fat cheese. When you buy yogurt, buy low-fat yogurt. And also your serving size when you are cooking. You should not be cooking with a lot of grease. You should not be cooking with a lot of oil, not at all. So when we go back to that healthy plate method, fat does not have a section because your protein does contain fat. The next thing that we are going to look at is carbohydrates, which is the third and final one. So carbs are not the bad guy here. If anyone ever tells you that carbs are bad, know that they are sent from the devil and they are meant to destroy you. Please, carbs have their proper place for building a better plate for blood sugar balance. So let me tell you a little bit about, I'm talking too fast. Let me tell you a little bit about carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are necessary because they are the preferred source of energy for the brain and also the body. They can help to prevent constipation. And I know a lot of people on the keto diet have told me that they have had really bad constipation. And the reason that carbohydrates is able to do this is because of the fiber content in the carbohydrates. And they are also a source of vitamins and minerals, specifically the B vitamins, B as in boy, that your body does need for energy. So carbohydrates are found in fruits. They are found in starchy vegetables. So I want you to think potatoes. I want you to think corn. I also want you to think beans. Beans are classified as a legume. Some people may argue that they're a vegetable. Some people may argue that they're not, but they do have protein, but they are starchy. And carbs are also found in your bread, your rice, your cereals, your pasta. So you should not be avoiding these foods. I want you, if I ever work with you, I always tell you, I want you to consume these foods, but it's how much you're consuming, and do these carbohydrates have fiber in them? So there are a set of carbohydrates that don't have fiber in them, and those are your cakes, your pies, your cookies, your candies, your desserts, so forth and so on. If we ever work together, I talk about those things, and if you do choose to consume those things, I tell you how to consume them, but we're not going to get into that nitty-gritty here. According to the 2020 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans, which should be changing this year, about 90% of Americans are not getting enough fiber in their diets. And the reason why I feel that is because we live in a society, when we go on social media, everyone is talking about the importance of protein, 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 but no one really brings out the importance of fiber. Fiber is important for better blood sugar balance. It is important for weight management. It is important for managing your cholesterol levels, your lipid panel, and I want you to focus on fiber. So when we are looking at the healthy plate method, 1/4 of your plate should be your carbohydrate source. And when I say your carbohydrate source, I don't want you, when you're looking at your plate, to like mound up your plate, to, you know, put a whole bunch of rice on your plate that it forms a mound. So I want you to be careful of your portion sizes. Please be careful of your portion sizes. So you may be saying to yourself, when you're looking at the healthy plate method, like half the plate is missing. And you're absolutely right, because there's one more thing I want you to add to that plate, and that is your fiber. Your non-starchy vegetables, which are found in your salads. It can be found in your broccoli, your asparagus, your tomatoes, your cucumbers, your bell peppers, so forth and so on. So a lot of people say, well, you know, do I have to have a salad every single day? No, you don't. I don't care if your vegetables are raw. I don't care if they're cooked. I don't care if they're fresh. I don't care if they're frozen. I don't care if they're canned. I just want you to eat some vegetables. And then with your vegetables, that's where the color comes in. And different colors are important when you're looking at your produce. And the reason for that is different colors indicate different nutrients, different phytochemicals, different antioxidants, which again, all play a role in decreasing inflammation and helping with your blood sugar balance. You can be vegetarian, you can be pescatarian, you can eat meat, and still build a better plate for blood sugar balance. It all depends on your preference. But thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any issues, any questions that you would like me to address in a next video, please leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.